Hello and welcome to PME HQ and our March Facebook Live event. So welcome wherever you're joining us from in the world, whether that's the US, Hong Kong, Europe or here in the UK. And if you're watching live, don't forget to feed us lots of little smiley faces and comments as well. Maybe you're joining us a little bit later on, and also welcome if you are. And maybe if you're a little bit like Karen from Walthamstow, who hopped in recently, and you're watching at 3 in the morning because you can't sleep, hope you enjoy watching it, get lots of creativity flowing and have fun in the kitchen in an hour or two after you've started watching. Okay, so the crew that we've got looking around, we were getting busier down here at the moment. So starting upstairs, we've actually got Olivia with Samir today. Samir, don't forget, will be kind of keeping you in contact with us, sending all that information down here to Pat. Pat's on the stop go boards, remember? So she's feeding us lots of information from Samir and Olivia upstairs. We've also got Carmen here at the back as well, just in case we need her to. And Peter on the camera, so maybe a little wiggle from Peter, a little wave from Peter. And I've got my sidekick Janet back again. So Janet's going to be hopping in and out the table with me here, helping out a little bit. Did you like what I did there? Hop, hop. So, anyhow, so that's introduced you to everybody else. I'm Paula McLeod, head of school here, and I'm going to be taking you through some of our very fun Easter things that Peter's already shown you. He's just showing you a little bit there again. Theme has to be Easter, of course, with it just being around the corner. Great lot of fun, something that all of the family through all of the generations can get involved with. We've got some cookies that could go on sticks, and we've got some lovely modelling from very beginning stuff right the way through to something a little bit more complicated. And at the end of it, we've decorated it with some eggs, and then you can eat it, so it's all the better. So first of all, we're going to start off over this end here, and we're going to look at some of those biscuits to start with. We've got a little display there. So we've got ours on the display on some sticks, but you don't have to. You could just dip them and leave them as they are. So we'll show you a little bit later on as well. Now, the cookie recipe that I've just got here, as far as I know, Samir's going to post this up for you, but I don't know if Peter just wants to home in quickly on that while we're kind of getting started. So that's what you're going to be looking for. We've done the recipe before, and we have shown you how to pop those sticks in as soon as they come out of the oven. I'm going to hand that to Jan because she's there, just because I can. But we're not going to do that today because we have done it before, like I say. And it is just a case of as soon as they come out of the oven, while they're still nice and hot, just slide the stick into the biscuit and then just leave them to cool, and they'll be absolutely fine. And we'll show you a little bit later how to just attach them on to what would be the back of the biscuits. So this one here, we've already got, as you can see, just coated in a white candy, and then we're just going to add in a double colour onto there and do a little bit of piping or something like that over the top. So I've got a selection of different candies over here. Now they've all been heating, and I've just left them on a number 1, and it can stay on a number 1 for a very, very long time, I can tell you, because I've done that quite often. Janet's laughing because I did that the other evening, if I'm absolutely honest, but everything was absolutely fine when we came back in the next morning, including the candy in the pot. So I've just given it a stir. Now I haven't added in any Trex or anything with this, so you can kind of see it is fairly runny anyway, which is what you need. Now if you do need to thin that down, don't forget just a little bit of white fat in there. Make sure that it is a white fat and that it's a vegetable white fat, so it's not a lard, you need a vegetable fat. And just stir that in to thin that down. If you need to thicken it back up again, you just add a little tiny bit of water, and that should bring it back again. So I've got a little bit of parchment ready too. Not very much, just enough for what I'm after. And it's just a case of dipping in, just like so, and a little tap. Wipe it across the edge just to get rid of the drips, because I'm going straight onto parchment. And then that's ready as that is to just go into the fridge. That's not a hint, Jan, don't worry. You were gearing up, I could sense you were gearing up. And I think we've got a shout out from Pat already, just as I'm getting ready with my bag to fill. That didn't take long back, did it?
So do you want me to do these now while you're
Yeah, you're absolutely
sorting
fine.
out?
All I'm going to do is just pop a little bit into the bag, so that's perfect. Yeah,
Wonderful.
That works well, thank you.
So we start with Elsie Flauday, who says hello and a lovely wave.
Oh, nice big wave back.
And Kelly Scott's Heart says good morning from Brighton, Ontario, Canada.
I thought you were going to say UK.
No.
Ah,
And she says happy spring and a lovely smiley face.
that's nice.
Titialo says hello, I'm watching from Nigeria in Lagos
lovely.
State.
Brilliant, hello.
We do come back to the UK because
Oh.
Margaret Simmons says hi from the Blackpool and she sends you a lovely kiss.
Oh, Kitty's back.
And Dajo says hiya from London.
Oh, lovely. So we've got lots of people with us
Lots of people
already.
with
That's
us already.
great. Well, hopefully, like we say, there'll be a little bit of something for everybody today. A little bit of fun so that everybody across the generations can get in the kitchen and do a bit of baking, do a bit of decorating and do a lot of eating afterwards, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So I'm just going to snip the end off. Got the wobbles at the minute. There we go. So just a little bit over there. Just have a little test to make sure that that's coming out, and then just do a little bit of a drizzle just backwards and forwards. There you go. I mean, you can just use a spoon if you want to. It depends how many you're going to do and how much control that you actually want over your biscuit or over your cookie. There you go. So Peter's just homing in on that one there. I'm going to leave that to the full. We don't need to pop that into the fridge, but if Jan decides to later on, then she can do, but no pressure, Jan. There you go. Now, the other thing I said we were going to do is just to show you, if you haven't popped the stick into the biscuit when it's come out of the oven, you can just attach it onto the back. So as you can see there, just a little bit of yellow one, a little bit of candy. That's the word I'm looking for. Dip the stick into it and then just straight down onto, and if you want to be sure that it's going to be as it needs to be, just a little bit extra tapped along there, and then just squash it up against the biscuit, and that should be absolutely fine. Pop it in the fridge, that will just set, and that should do the job. You can speed it down a little bit if you want to. You shouldn't need to, but just give it a good push, and that's all you need to do. Leave it to set. Don't try and dip it too soon. Peter's just homing in on that for you. There we go. And then you can just dip the biscuits. So I've got some yellow here as well. Give it a little stir. Now, if you think it is a little bit too thick, don't be afraid to just add a little bit of Trex into it, which is what I'm going to do there. Actually, Jan, could you do me a big favour?
Yes.
If you could, just grab another little extra bit of parchment for me, because I've popped the H on there. I thought there'd have been enough room for my other biscuit, but I think to play it safe, thank you, Jan. It's a good job Jan's here, isn't it? There we go. So that's just thinned it down, so you can see now that's given us quite a thinner consistency, and that would just mean to say it won't be kind of gloopy when it gets dumped. So there we go. So are you ready there, Jen? Wax paper's fine. Yeah, don't worry, that's perfect. Wax paper will do the same job perfectly. So just dunk it in. I'm going to go face in with it, and then just come round, give it a little tap across the side, and you can wipe it across there if that's what you want to do, and then just pop it onto there and leave it to go. So that's another one for the getting quite a few of things now.
Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah, that'd be lovely. And if you want to grab out that centre jam as well, it's in the fridge, that'd be lovely. Yeah, perfect, thank you. Now Jan's just popping them into the fridge for me. Oh, we've got another shout out while that's happening, so we can do that at the same time.
Come in this side.
Oh, go Pat.
Okay, I apologise before I start because I know some of these names I'm not going to get right. But hopefully we'll start off okay. So first of all, a big hello from South Yorkshire, and that's from Julie Haig.
Oh, lovely.
And Shirley Kwan says hello, Paula from Hong Kong.
Oh, hi Shirley, yes.
And Samantha Doherty says hi from Cape Town in South Africa,
Oh, wow,
and sends you a
again.
lovely smiley face.
That's really good, thank you.
And Bootcon says hello thanks for doing this. Greatly appreciated, watching from Toronto.
Wow, good to see you.
And Rena says good afternoon, but I'm not sure where Rena comes from. Now this is the one I'm going to really struggle with.
Go on, Pat.
So, Merengue, what do you reckon, Peter?
I haven't a clue.
Maybe
they can let us know if you got anywhere near it.
But they say hello.
Hello back as well, that's great.
And Bahija says hello from Cape Town.
And Cape Town as well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and supporting us and saying hello basically. Let us know how you're getting on with any projects that you're doing. And hopefully, like I say, you'll get some creative ideas and you can share them with us too as well, because we always love to find out what you're up to after you've watched what we're up to. So at the moment we've got the chilled biscuit. Jan's just grabs that out for me, and what I've done is on the little display that Peter was showing you earlier, you saw a sunshine. He's just showing you again there. Now for the biscuit on a stick just in front, I actually used an upside down Halloween pumpkin cookie cutter, and for this one, we're actually just going to cut out some gerberas to add on there. For the centre, we've actually used a half ball mould, the large size. But if you want to do smaller versions, I'll just bring these in and Peter can show you those. You can see smaller gerbera all the way along and a smaller half ball mould, and that just gives you that smaller sizing as you go along. So I've already got one cut out ready, just over here. Well, Peter's just showing you that. And I'm just going to go through how we've then just cut out the other sizing. So a little bit of icing sugar, not too much on there, just to make sure it's going to slide around okay for me. There we go, we should be all right with that, I think. Give it a good push. I'm using gum paste, but you can use, obviously, whatever you would like to. There we go. A nice clean edge on there, just give it a little push in. Now you could build up the layers, you could use a combination of all of them if you actually wanted to. You don't have to do just one, you can do as many as you want. So if you've got all the cutters, you can add to it. Just make sure it doesn't get too heavy is the only advice I would say, because it could get a little bit weighty as you move along. So I'm just going to divide that up down the centre, just using the cutting wheel. There we go, so we're going all the way around there. It just makes it look a little bit more sunshiny, I think. And again, if you're all in the kitchen together, this could be something that's great for the grandkids or the children to just get involved with. Nice bit of fun. And nice and safe as well, which is always very important. So just all the way along. Nice and therapeutic, this as well. There we go. Round we are. And then you can just pick that up and just pull apart the petals. It's probably the easiest way of doing it, to be honest. It is gum paste, so you can do that because it's the gum paste. There we go, so that's just split and divided that up a little bit. There we go. Give it a little shake and we're ready to go. So we're just going to add some piping gel onto there. So if you're working with candy, oh dear, Pat's there again. If you're working with candy, piping gel is always really good as a glue. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit tackier. So that's what I'm going to glue with while Pat does another shout out. There we go. Just see this board waving in the background. Don't know how long you've been there, Pat.
No,
but
well, it's fine. I just kind of wave it around and wait for you to sort of fit it in when it's best.
Living in hope.
Yes. So we're off to Malta.
Oh,
Paula.
lovely.
So
oh, lovely. Very nice.
You're thinking of the sun, aren't you?
I am.
Yes.
Sunshine, you see, Pat. That's what that is.
And this is a big hello from Antoinette Abela.
Ooh.
And Desiree says hello, watching from Dubai.
Oh, also
exciting to watch. Also
good.
warm, hopefully. And Lali says hi, Durban, South Africa. And Rena, do you remember Rena earlier?
Yes.
We didn't know where she was from.
Yes.
She's from the Netherlands.
From the
and
Netherlands.
She says
Hello,
hi.
Rena from the Netherlands as well again then. Good to have you with us.
Last but not least, a big hello from Swindon, and that's from Maria Harper.
Back to the UK with a bump. Hello and thanks for watching. So Jan's just brought out the half ball mould that we've added some candy in, and I'm actually just going to pop this out and then I'll just show you how I filled it when I've done that. So let's give it a little push and that should pop out. There we go. Just flip that over. I did catch it a little bit as I did it, but you can see you get this lovely little centre that then makes up the middle of your sunshine. So it's all nice and shiny. So I've put a bigger one on there, so it's a bigger ball in the middle, but you've got a whole host of different sizes that you can actually use to create your little sunshines. So I'm just going to show you how I filled that up. When I talked about it, I was going to do it the other way round, but hey ho, on the edge here, making it exciting, aren't we, Jan? So just palette a little bit of your candy into the centre, and you can just tap it as you go, so you know it gets to the level. Give it another little tap. There you go. And then if you've got any bubbles in there that shouldn't be, it will just come out. But also, you can see exactly how near to the top it is, so you're not trying to scrape across the top edge with the palette knife. Otherwise, all the edge gets a little bit messy. There we go. And that should be absolutely perfect to then just go into the fridge. If I give it another little tap, you can just see, there we go, that little air bubble at the top there just disappeared as we gave it a little tap.
Would you like me to put that into the fridge?
Oh, yes, please. That'd be great. Thanks, Jan. We might not use it again, but if we need to or anybody wants to see it coming out again, we've got a second one. So that's our sunshine created and the biscuits. And you know how to just attach that cookie stick onto the back if you need to, if you haven't done it when they've come out of the oven. So then we're going to move along over here. And Peter was showing you a little bit earlier, we've got this lovely little picnic set up over here and a little picnic blanket or even tablecloth. Thank you, Pat. For some very strange reason, I couldn't remember it was called a tablecloth, so she's got no idea why. But thank you for that. So that's what we're going to look at doing. We've got some little napkins, so I'll just do the smaller version of that, and you can then have a go at doing the bigger version yourself. I'm going to use the sugar roller. I find these are great, especially if you're like me and have veins that maybe pop in your hands or maybe a bit of arthritis and it's a bit difficult rolling out sometimes. So for me, I find they're a great bonus. Plus the fact to get this lovely crisscross effect on here, these make life very, very easy. Now, we don't have to have two of these, but I happen to have two set up just to make life a little bit easier to speed things along. I think Jan's just put the aircon on, thank you. I'm matching, I think I'm matching this at the moment. So I'm just going to get these out ready. So again, I'm using gum paste here, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a roll out, just a little bit to get it going. Not too much, because I'm going to put it, like I say, through the sugar roller, but if you try and put it through before you've given it a little bit of a head start, it tends not to like it. We're on a number 1, so that's the widest setting. I'm going to switch it on, so it's going to get a bit noisy, but I'm still keep talking. So through that a couple of times, and then move that to a number 2, so it's a bit thinner. It just thins it a bit more. I normally do it twice. And then number 3. There we go. Peter will be pleased I've switched that off now. I'm actually just going to pinch a bit of this cling film that I said was for you later, Jan. And I'm just going to keep it so that it stays nice and moist in there, because you don't want it drying out, because we're going to have the red sticking over it. So we need it to be a nice, fresh, wet bit of paste. So again, just going to give it a bit of a knead. Now, if you find your paste is a bit tacky, you might want to put a little bit of corn flour just on your paste. But again, because I'm going to stick them together without using glue, I don't really want to add anything in. Just kind of, again, get that rolling a little bit. Maybe having 2 of these out wasn't the best of ideas. Didn't really think about the practicalities of that. So that's started off again a little bit. So again, we're going to pop it through. On we go. Just through a couple of times. Number 2. There we go. Again, a couple of times. Number 3. Just a couple of times again as well. There we go. Right, so that's that switched off. And then we're actually ready to, if I move that way a little bit, there we go. We're just going to now pop this one through to give us this shaping here. So this is where we had the motor set up to thin it down, and now we've got the motor set up on that one, if you can just see. So this is going to give us these lovely little stripes that we've got there. So here we go. You're going to catch this, Peter, because this is the interesting bit. You ready? Here we go. So I'm just catching it underneath, and that comes through there. There we go. I'm going to switch that one off, and I'll move along this way. And while we're doing this, Jan's just going to remove that, so we've got a bit more room to work in. There we go. And then we can just do a little decision. A little decision.
Take that your way.
Oh, that's perfect. Thanks, Jan. That's so much better. Thank you. There we go. So we'll just pop these straight on. Now, again, I'm not using any glue, so just give them a little push as you go so that they're nice and tacky. There you go. But you've got these perfect little strips already done, cut to size without any hassle at all. Absolutely perfect. There we go. And then you can go back across the other way. There we are. So again, just give it a little push. And this is why it's nice to have that nice and tacky and ready to go. There we are. Again, a little push. And across there, another little push. And same thing again. Now I'm going to trim that up as well. Palette knife or with your cutting wheel, whichever one you want to, just because you don't need all those extra little bits going through. And it's nice to just keep it as tidy as you can. There you go. There we are. Give it another little push and then straight through. So you can kind of see you've got the nice idea there. There we go. And I'm going to pop it back to number 1 on my settings. So again, that's widened it out just to help me be able to feed it through. There we go. So it just starts to thin it down, and then do it the opposite way. Change it to number 2, one way then the other way again. Back the other way. Go. You can do one more if you want to, but I'm just going to do number 3. There we go, and then back again. There we go. So that gives us our lovely little pattern. So just switch that all off and ditch those. There we go. And then we can give that. Now, if you're leaving it as the giant, forgetting it again, it's not blanket, tablecloth. I don't know why I have an aversion to tablecloths, but I just can't seem to remember it's called a tablecloth. What you can do is you can just kind of curl on the edging a little bit if that's what you want to do. Give it a little bit of a frill, not a thrill. There you go. So that just kind of helps it kind of give it a nice little look. But we're doing little tiny napkins. I nearly forgot what they were called then for a minute. So just make sure it's moving around on the surface. I'm just going to use a geometric cutter because that's going to give me some nice little sizes that I want. So line it up over there, give it a little push and a little wiggle. There we go. And I'll just use a brush to push them through. And then we've got some little serviettes, some extra little serviettes for our little picnic with the bunny rabbits and the sheep. And that is a sheep, by the way. Somebody upstairs called Mr. Finn thought it was a cow. We've got a shout out there from Pat. Go for it, Pat. And it's definitely not. There we go. So these are just our little serviettes. Yeah, go for it, Pat.
Right, we go. So first of all, Vicky Chan says hello, and she's from Taiwan, and she gives you a lovely big wave.
Waving back.
And Marilyn Laterio Luscious says hello from Trinity in Florida.
Oh, lovely. Hello.
Oh, sounds warm.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
And Carol Heath says hi from Bedfordshire, and she sends you a big smiley face.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank
and
you.
Mandy from Mandy's Workshop from Hong Kong.
Yes, hello.
Says hello. And,
perfect, one of our approved teachers.
And everybody's absolutely loving what you're doing.
Oh, that's really good. Well, I hope you're really enjoying it. That is good to know if you are. So you can see we've got some more little serviettes there. And I'll leave them there, and then if Jan wants to play with those or do whatever she can do. Great, says Jan.
Yeah.
If I can play with those, that's what I'll do. Okay, so we're going to move along now. We've got some little ideas coming up. Now, first of all, if we just quickly show you through a carrot, so just something really simple, so this might be something the children want to get involved in with even. Just a little carrot, but instead of doing the stalk the usual sort of way, I'm just going to use a leaf cutter, and it's just a nice way. It gives you a very good stalk in the top of the carrot. So just very quickly before we carry on with our sheep, that is. Now, we haven't named the sheep yet as such, have we?
No, we haven't.
But we could do. There's an obvious one.
Does it begin with M?
No, it didn't actually. I was thinking of Sean actually. Sean the sheep. And Sean actually helped out quite a long time ago actually when we were doing the geometrics and we did the jigsaw, and he actually did the printed sheets for us, and I never said thank you, and he said I should have done. So thank you, Sean, for doing that. So just using some gum paste or modelling paste, whichever works. Roll it till you get rid of all your creases, just into your carroty shape. There we go. Which that is. There we are. And then just a cutting wheel just gives you some nice little dents across there. So just roll it round. You can use the small end or the large end. Way up, Jan's there already. Look. Oh wow.
It's going to roll out.
There's
the eyes.
there's no holding you back, is there, Jan? Jan's just going to roll out for my eyes for the sheep. There we go. A little bit round that way. There we go. Just really rolls around really nicely. Nice little carrot. Nice little carrot for the bunny rabbits to be eating. There we go. And then just into the end, just use the bulbous comb tool. And that will just flatten down the end for you. Just give it a little twist. Little roll out. Again, some gum paste or modelling paste is fine. How is it, Jan?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just doing
Oh,
it because you
jolly
only need
good.
a little bit.
Only needs a little bit.
Do
Just
a
a
too
little bit.
much.
Oh, okay. Easily done, Jan, don't worry. So I'm not bothering to emboss with that. And just eject it out and then just bring in your cutting wheel. Pop that back there in case we do the chick a little bit later on. And then just make some indents and slices with your cutting wheel each side. You can do as many or as little as you want. I think it flipped over then. There we go. And then just roll it round like so, and then you can just open it out, and that gives you that nice kind of stalky effect. Give it a little roll to seal it, and that can just stick into the end. There we go. And that's straight in to the end there. Like I say, it gives it a nice kind of shape for the carrot. There we go. Lovely, Jan. Cheers. So I've got my eyes all rolled out.
Nearly.
Nearly. Oh, that's fine. Well, there's no rush because we're just about to... I might sit down for a bit, I think. I'll leave you standing. Oh, dear. Okay. So I have written down everything as well so that Jan's got a good idea what's what, because there's nothing worse than you've got things set up and she thinks she's helping to find out that she hasn't helped at all. So we'll just bring our little sheep in. Sean the sheep. Here he comes. There he is. Looks nothing like a cow, as you can see. So this is nice and easy to do, and again, something that the kids can get involved with very, very easily. And you could do this in sugar paste, actually. You don't have to do a modelling paste for this one at all. So just roll it to a ball. It's quite a large, sizable ball, but you just need to make sure that those creases are all out of the way. So you might need to just kind of shape it and smooth it a little bit. They're all going to get covered over, so it doesn't matter too much, to be honest. But you still want it looking reasonable before you get going. So that's what will be our body of the sheep. And then we're going to get the head and the ears ready as well. There we go. Oops, daisy. So it's a little bit tacky. I've got some paste here. It is a little bit tacky, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of petal base in. And you know I love petal base. It's actually a release agent, but it is great you can either rub it into your hands so that you don't kind of get the colour going on there from the concentrate paste, or you can just knead it into your paste and then you actually find that it's not quite as tacky or sticky. And of course I like to have one in my handbag always, don't I? As lip balm. So that's the little head, so just like a little oval. So Peter's showing you that. And then just for the mouth, I'm just going to push in with the end of that comb, so that kind of gives you that section there. And then I'm just going to use a mini modelling tool, so you can just see what that one is. So he just looks like he's eating a little bit of grass. So just stick that in there, and then that's ready for us to be able to add in a little bit of grass in a minute as well. Did you want to do a little bit of grass, Jan? Just a little tiny sausage?
Yeah, I can do that.
There's a little bit of grass in there. Just a little tube of, that'll be fine. Thank you very much. Oh, it's a shout out.
You're enjoying yourself over there,
I'm
aren't
playing,
you?
Pat.
Yes, yes.
I've got an ally today, so I feel I can push my luck.
Well, we start with a message from two people that our shout-outs would not be complete without. So we're heading to Hong Kong.
Yep.
And to Peggy Wong.
Yeah,
and
hello,
Blossom
Peggy.
Cakes. And she says, hi, Paula.
Hello, really good to hear from you. And just in case you don't know, and you might do if you watch on a very regular basis, Peggy, Blossom Cake and Joseph, all in Hong Kong, are approved distributors and approved locations. So it's really good to have you watching. Thank you.
And if I can carry on, are you okay?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah. And Santa Bree says hello from Dublin in Wicklow. And Danielle says hello from Sicily. And Clara Pedro, hello Paula from Portugal from Istavasi.
Oh, hello! Another approved location and one of our customers, Istavasi. Yeah, hello! Lovely, that's really good to have you watching. I don't know we've done a shout out to you before, so that's good to have the chance to. Thanks for watching, that's brilliant. There we go. So I'm just popping the ears on our sheep that we've called Sean the sheep. There we go. How's that bit of grass going, Jen?
Yeah, I've done a few pieces.
Oh, lovely.
Wasn't sure how
Oh,
big.
whoops, my ears dropped off. There we go. There we go. There we are.
I'll
Just ready for the
optimize
eyes.
with the
No,
eyes.
that's great, thank you. There we go. So this little head is actually just going to sit on the sheep here. So if I kind of secure it up onto there with a little bit of glue, that should be fine. So I'm just going to turn it round to myself, Peter, so as I can kind of see what I'm up to. There we go. There we are. Get the feeling the head's going to slowly slide down the body at the moment. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you, Janet. I just thought to save a bit of time, so we're not watching me roll out bits of paste all the time. There we go. And then if we need to use a little bit of icing sugar or something, we can do. There we go. And I'm just going to use a couple of plungers for the eyes. So you could do ready-made googly eyes if you want to, but I'm just using these two sizes to give us our little eyes. Here we go. And we're just going to put a little tiny bit of white into there as well. Into the centres, give them a little bit of a highlight so they look cute and good, we hope. Thought I'd do the head on there first before we do the legs, just so that we know it's not going to slide off. We'll get his little legs done in a second. There we go. So we might be using these again a little bit later on. I'm just going to pop those back over that way. I'm going to pinch a little bit of that white in a second and a little bit of glue just to secure them. Pop that into there. Oh, there we go. There we go. And another little bit on there. Hope I left enough room for the eyes. We're about to find out. There we go. So don't forget as well that if you've kind of just joined us at the moment, we've been looking at some biscuits and some cookies. I've done a little bit of modelling with a carrot and everything, and now we're just doing the sheep as well. We're going to give it a kind of a ski whiff eyes look. There we go. And Jan's done a little bit of grass. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank
Hope
you.
it's not too small.
No, that's absolutely perfect. Thank you, Jan. We don't want it too big. Just a couple of little bits, look. So it looks like he's munching on a bit of the grass. There we go. What he's really been eating is the eggs, though, to be honest. What I might do is when we've done the legs in a minute, I might get Jan maybe to just carry on with, there we go, with a little bit of the balls that are going to make up the fur, or the, what is it called even? Coat of a sheep. Wool. I'm not doing very well today, am I? I can't think of things. Oh dear me. I can't remember, no, tablecloths. Can't remember sheep, what they're made of. God dear. Right, so let's get the legs under go. There we go. So it's a little bit tacky. So just a ball of paste. I have actually left some kind of little sizing guides there as well, which I think we've kind of ended up kind of moving around a little bit so that you can see roughly kind of where we're starting off with on the sizes. And while I start to sort this little leg out, Pat's got a shout out ready there, which is really good. So
You okay?
Yeah, so we'll do a shout out.
Right, we go. So we start with James Stewart, who says hi, but I'm not sure where James is from.
Hello, James.
And Riette Thorne says hi from Penrith, but originally from Pretoria in South Africa.
Oh, lovely. Great. Yes.
And Maggie Lamb
oh, hello, Maggie.
says hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
And Tamara says hello from Kitchen Jukebox in Canada. Sends a lovely
wow,
smiley
lovely.
face.
Canada. Smiley face back.
And Angela says hello, good day from Italy.
Oh, that's really great. Thank you so much for joining us from everywhere again. It's really, really good. And thank you for sending smiley faces and hearts and lots of support. It's always really good to know. And also to all our approved locations that are watching as well, and keep watching pretty much every time we do one of these Facebook Live events. It is really, really good to know that you're all out there and supporting us. And of course, your customers can also kind of, maybe if they're seeing what we're working with, they can always get in touch with you then to be able to get hold of those products, which hopefully should make your lives a little bit easier. So I'm just rolling some of the balls of paste. We started off with a ball, divided it in half, and we just keep halving it so we get some nice even shapes there, hopefully. And that's just going to be for the little legs that are going to sit underneath there. So just roll them out a little bit. You see the paste is a little bit sticky, so I'm just going to take that back off there. That's a little bit better. There we go. So I'm just going to divide the end of the little legs so that he's got a little bit of a hoof. There we go. And then just round it off, give it a little push. So that's one little leg. And same thing with all the others. There we go. I haven't forgotten to add in the little bits of his eyes. We'll do those in a minute. Prefer that side there. There we go. So that's 3 of those. There we go. And that makes 4. So if we just line all of these up, and then we're just going to sit our sheep on top of those. So you might not actually need to put any glue onto these, but just in case, we'll add it on there. Just pop it down on there, give it a squash. Add the others the other side. So we're going for a very comical, fun look with our sheep. There he goes, and just slide them in and underneath. Give him a little squish down again. There he is. Plump sheep, to say the least. There we go. And then just into the centre, we may as well just add in the little highlights. Still got my little bit of white on the go there. Just divide that up a bit. So we don't need very much. So again, I just break it down into a ball and then keep dividing it so that you get a nice even amount. And that should probably be about right. There we go. 1. And that should be 2. There we go. So a little bit of glue. can just about see where they've got to go. There we are. And that should be able to just hook up with those, give it a little push. This one's a bit bigger, but there we are, never mind. That should be fine. There we go. So they're just sitting in there. And his head hasn't come off, which is good. Now for those little bits of wool, remembered it? There we go. I'll just show you what we've done with that. I'm going to pinch a bit from there off my rabbit. I've probably got a load of it somewhere. Oh, it's over there, is it?
It's next to you.
Oh dear, there's not a lot of hope, is there? So just a little ball of paste. And I'll just show you a few. If we start with the head, just add that on. There we go. We'll use the correct one this time, Jan. And they can be quite large or quite small. They don't have to be all the same size. There we go. There we are. So if you've got quite a few sheep to do, you might want to make them quite small sheep if you don't want to be a very long time rolling lots of balls. Although Jan said you used to actually roll a sausage and then curl the sausage up, didn't you?
Which took a lot longer.
Yeah, this is much quicker and easier. As you all know, probably by now, I don't like spending too long on things if I can help it these days. So it's always nice to find an easier way of doing something. And I think these days everybody's so busy all the time as well, and you still want to get in the kitchen and do things, but there isn't always a lot of opportunity to be able to do that. So if you can find an easier way of doing it, that's always good. There we go. So just position those in. There we go. So you can start to see we've got that little bit of fur going on everywhere there. And you just keep building up the little white balls. And then to give it that kind of woolly look, because I won't spend too long on this, we just get the oval little cutters. The smallest one that I was using is probably the best size. And just give it a little push. And when you give it a little push, it also secures it as well. And it just flattens it slightly so it fills the area very nicely. And that starts to give you your nice little shape for your sheep. Shaun the sheep. There we go. So a little push on there. And that'll be Shaun the sheep number 2. So I'm going to move the sheep over out the way. And we're not going to carry on doing the little balls because you can see how he's going to look by the end of it there. And Pat's busy. She's got another little shout out over there. So while we get organised for the next bit, Pat's coming back over. So I'm going to pop.
Well, I've been shaving them while you were kind of doing the sheep, and we've got so many different emojis now.
Oh, lovely! Thank you.
It's kind of amazing.
I bet there's some sheep in there.
Well, we've got what I'm not sure if it's a. I think it's a chick. We've got
lovely.
thumbs up. We've got suns. We've got smiley faces with hearts, smiley faces crying, tears.
Tears crying. Oh dear! I don't know about the tears bit or the crying.
No, I think it's crying with laughter and
Oh,
fun.
with laughter and fun. That's fine then. That's all good. We like that, don't we?
Okay, so here we go then, Paula.
Okay then, Pat.
So we start with Evelyn El Habib. She says hello and cute work.
Thank you.
Alicia Ellis says hello and enjoying your craft from Salem, New Hampshire in the USA.
What's different? Hello.
And Bucon's enjoying it from Toronto. Anne-Marie Walther says hello from Norway.
Wow.
Diane Hindley says hi, we're going to Australia, says hi from Australia.
That's great.
And Gree says hello from the Netherlands. Deborah Lee Horn says hello from South Africa. Smiley, oh no, wavy.
Wavy, Pat's doing the motions there.
And says so gorgeous. And Melissa Lynn says that she loves it. And Tressa says superb.
Oh, isn't that great? Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully, you know, you are getting some fun, creative ideas so the juices can really start to flow over Easter for you. Sometimes it's as simple as just using something like the plunger there to be able to kind of create those effects on the sheep, but hopefully something that you'll be able to go away and you'll be doing yourselves in a short while. So we're just moving on to our little bunny rabbit. So we've named the bunny rabbit, much to Peter's delight. It is a little girl, but I've still called it Peter. But if you've got a better name, we can always go with that. So we're just going to do the body. So it's just a ball of paste. And again, there's just some ideas on size guides there for you. So Peter's showing you those. And we're just going to create the body, just adding in what would be the top part of the leg. And the bottom of the rabbit, or the base size, can be any size you want it to be really. So I'm just going to leave that there ready for you. And then we'll just do some legs. Might do the arms a little bit later on. There we go. And just as we did before, Jan's just helping out by doing a bit of rolling out for me for the eyes. So just divided that paste into half. So we've got the 2 balls and then just a sausage. There we go. Make sure they're about the same sort of size, and we always tend to do sausages, balls into sausages. Give it a little roll around just to define where the paws are going to be. And then just give it a little bend a little bit. There you go. And then again, we can just kind of add in a little bit of definition. So that will just alter the size of the little paw, squashes it a little bit, which is good because that's what you want to do. And then that's ready to stick either side of our body. So I'll just go with a little bit of a brush. I'll go with that one actually, it's a nice new looking brush. A nice small brush as well. So they can just kind of sit either side round there. Just gonna stick them out. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now I'm not going to use any sugar sticks or anything with the head. I shall just position it and leave it to dry before attaching it a little bit later on. Where I position the ears, I just kind of leave them a little bit flat quite often, so that they can kind of like go in a nice position without worrying about having to use anything like a cocktail stick, and without them having to kind of fall back or flop where you don't want them to or anything. So the arms I'm probably going to do a little bit later on, so we'll move on to the head so that we can get that done for you. There we go. Jan's gone very quiet. Pat's got a shout out. She was looking at me hopeful that I'd actually seen her.
But no, I wasn't sure if it was a good time or not.
No, that's fine. And we're just using modelling paste as well. I haven't told anybody that we're doing this in modelling paste. 50-50.
Is that 50?
50 sugar paste and 50 gum paste, yeah.
Wonderful.
There we go.
So I'll get through these as quickly as I can so
Yep,
you
no,
can
you're
move
fine.
forward.
I'll just be doing a bit while you're doing that, Pat, if that's okay.
So Judith says she's watching from Abu Dhabi.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And Nilda Dantas says hi. Susan Krutroff says hello, and I know you and I both know Susan.
Yes, we do. Hello,
Yes.
Susan.
And Chris says hello from Kentucky in the USA. Geraldine Compan says hello from the Netherlands. I love Sean the sheep.
I know, it's good.
And then I've got He's so cute. Hello from the
that's
Panama
fun.
Panama Republic. Sorry.
That's brilliant. Everybody from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Aren't they?
And Nilda
really
Dantas
good.
says hello from Brazil. Christina says happy learning from Madrid. And Lara says hello from Mexico. And last but not least, Patabazi says hello.
Oh wow, hello everybody. There's so many of you watching. It's really, really good. Well, like I say, hopefully you're kind of seeing some things that are a bit of inspiration and maybe a slightly different way of doing things. So I've just rolled the ball into an oval, and I've just been smoothing out what will be panels for the eyes, a bit of an eye socket to sit in. So I've just kind of stroked it to kind of allow for that. We're going to use the oval plungers in a bit. Jan's just rolling out those things for me. And I'm just going to use smiley face tool, as we like to say it is, and just push in one side. And this is going to create part of the muzzle. So just push that in. So keep it upright when you're doing that. And with your brush, just push in where the two join together and just open it out a little bit. And as you can see, where you're kind of enlarging it, that will just give you the little mouth. So just brush it, brush it, brush it, coax it open, pop your thumb in underneath just to support it, and then just keep brushing and stroking until you're kind of where you want to be and you've got that open enough. We're going to pop in a little tongue in there to make it look extra cute. So I'm going to be able to do that now. And you can pinch it together a little bit more if that's what you want to do. Excuse the black smudge from my fingers all over there. Jan's doing a smashing job there. Thank you, Jan. I'm just pinching a bit of the pink. That's going to be for the tongue. So just a tiny little bit, rolled it. There we go, that'll do. And that should just sit all okay. And then just drop it in like so. And again, back to your brush. And then you can just smooth that a little bit wider. Haven't used any glue, haven't needed to. And that's our little tongue in position. And then we're ready to look at the eyes going on there as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Oh, we're back. And we're back in the room. So we lost you just for a little while there. I carried on because all I've done is pop in the oval cutters for you in beige. So I went with half each in the end. And now we're doing the white, which we're going to sit over there. So I'm going to do 2 of these, but I'm going to take the end off. I don't need them too deep. So there we go. I'll just use that cutting wheel just to take the ends off a little bit. And if again you're not too sure, you can't remember, or you want to have a little look, there's a bit of a guide there for you. Whoops daisy, there you go. So Peter can always show you a little bit later. And I'm just attaching the white just kind of to the middle a little bit more of the eyes. There we go. And then just give them a little push and smooth them in position. You might not always need to use any glue. There we are. And then we're ready for our next colour. And again, Jan very kindly has been busy rolling, and she's dressing the sheep as well. He's got his little fur coat on as well. Yeah, the wool that I couldn't remember what was going on. So he might even be transformed by the time we're finished, which would be great. So we're just adding some blue in, just dividing that bit in half. So you can see our rabbit is starting to come together a little bit. Only a very small amount of glue going on. And again, just pushing that in position, lifting it on, and there you can see. So again, just give it a little push and a smooth, so it's not too raised up. And then we can add in a little bit of black as well. There we go. Now with this one, it is quite sticky, so I might add just a smidgen, not too much, of something so that I can get a nice cut. There we go. Did you find that a bit tacky, Jan?
It was a bit sticky.
Things tend to sweat down here when it gets very hot with the lights and everything as well. So it's just handy to be able to have things pre-rolled a little bit ahead of time. It does help quite a bit. So again, hardly any glue going on there, and then just lifting them into position. Oh, doesn't want to go. There we go. So that's one side. So our rabbit is starting to come to life. That bit's upside down. Let me turn him round. Jan's throwing tools around. What are you doing, Jan?
Dropping it on the floor.
Oh, never mind. There we go. And then we're going to add in some highlights shortly. Got a little bit of pink, and I'm actually going to use the cutter and then recut into it. And that's just to create a little bit of eyeshadow on our little rabbit. You can see we've got a little bit of eyeshadow. So I'm just going to recut to give ourselves a couple of shapes that we can then just recut into and alter a little bit. There we go. That one's a little bit big, so I'm just going to trim a little bit off there like so. And a little bit of glue again. There we go, just around the top edge up here. And they should just drop into position. There we go. Just helps to define. I'm actually going to turn that one the opposite way round and drop it in. There we are. Don't want it to get dirty. Use your brush to smooth it in. And I'm just going to lift it a little bit by just easing it. Now it's kind of stuck in position. Just use the brush just to slide in underneath. If you're not stuck, you do need to be stuck to do it. So make sure that you are. Just go in and lift it a little bit. Just coaxes it up so it gives the impression of eyelids. And again, you can just smooth everything else away in a minute when you've put some eyelashes on there too. So this is nice and tacky as well, so I'm going to do these bits while it's nice and tacky. We need to get the nose on yet as well, the muzzle, haven't forgotten that. So I'm just going to divide that because I don't want them too long. Just rolling that in the palm of my hand a little bit. And I'll probably just do one set of eyelashes, but this is all you need to do, and you can add in extra further ones. Just keep them about the same sort of length if you can do. And I'll try one and see if it's going to be about the right sort of length. So just follow the pink eyeshadow and just drop that in and around, and it can then kind of sit in that area that you've just lifted and raised. There we go. Push down and that should just flick. There we go. You can just ease it as you go along. And don't be afraid if you want to just kind of use a cooled boiled water or wipe just to clean up at the side. You can do it afterwards, but don't forget to do it all the same. There we go. And it just eases it away. So that's one side done, and then you can pop the other side in as well. I'll do that before it starts to dry too much. And I'm not going to add in any more than that because that's probably going to be enough with the time that we've got. How are you getting on, Jan, with that sheep?
Yeah, I'm about, I would say, halfway.
Oh, that's not bad at all. There we go. There we go. So that starts to give you an idea on the eyelashes. There we go. Just going to add in a couple of highlights.
So, Paula, can I
yes.
just kind of jump in for a moment?
Yes, go for it, Pat.
And really just to ask you whether there's lots of people watching.
Right.
So is there any chance you could do the chick afterwards?
Yes.
Just very quickly.
There is. That's no problem. I'll just pop these highlights in, Pat. Shall I still carry on with the rabbit as he is at the minute? Oh, yes. Righty-ho. We'll keep going then with our rabbit. But yes, we can do the chick. And we'll have a whole farmyard of animals just about, I think. Just going to divide that in half again. There we go. Just trying to make sure that I've got my little balls of highlights the right sort of size. There we go. She says they're a bit fiddly. Hope you can see better than I can at the moment, Peter. So I'm just going to drop those in. That should, there we go. I'll just lift the other one in. There we go. Got a couple of little highlights on there. Now we're ready for the little muzzle to go on. Oh, I've got it over here, look. Get the ears going in a minute as well. I've abandoned bits of paste everywhere, I'm afraid, Janet. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
She was so organised rolling it all out for me and I've just chucked it everywhere. So this is just for the little muzzle, and you can do all sorts of little muzzles. Some of the little rabbits that were up over there, they've all got slightly different characters that Peter was showing you. There we go. So just divide that into half. Just roll it into a little bit of a pear shape. A little bit of a triangle shape to start with. Same with the other side. Make sure your little creases are out as well. And a little bit of glue. So just above where you've got the indents there. I don't know that these are about the same sort of level, to be honest. I'm going to call that character. And then just push them in. And then that covers up over the bottom of the eyes. So that's why you don't need to worry about the base of the eyes too much. A little bit of pink for the nose should do it quite nicely. Not too much. And that will just fill that little gap in there that you've got. I think that should be enough of a nose, I hope. I'm just going to turn him back round over there. Oh no, the nose has run away. There we go. So a little triangular shape again. Push that in there. And just the scriber, just push in just to create some little whisker holes. There we go. Our little rabbit's getting there. A little bit of blusher on there will look good too. And if we add in some ears, so it doesn't matter if I don't complete the ears really, as long as I've shown one little ear. Shaun the Sheep Mark II next door is gaining momentum, nearly finished. So just roll into a ball, then into a long sausage. And again, if you kind of need to see it, Peter will kind of go across in a minute. Push it down just a little tiny bit to flatten. Try and work on them both together. There we go, so just get them where they need to at the minute. There we go. So don't forget to keep sending your hearts and everything along, because it's always good to know that you're kind of watching and enjoying it as well. And if at the end you have a go, and for Easter you've been in the kitchen, you're making some biscuits, whatever your creations are, don't be shy, send them in, because it'd be lovely to actually see them. So there we go, so just roll in those. So 2 very long little sausages. There they go. I'm not going to use any glue again, I'm just going to drop those straight onto our ears. A couple of technical issues going on there. I don't know if anybody heard me repeat that for you. Oh dear me. This is the good thing about doing things live. You just never know what's going to happen next, do you? So I'm just going to lay that down the centre, and again, no glue. Just give it a little push to start with. And then I'm just going to roll very, very lightly, not too much at the moment, just so that I know that that little pink bit in the ear is just in there. There we go. And then you can use your bulbulous cone just to give it a little bit of a shape and widen it and thin it down just a little bit, and then I'm going to trim the end in a minute. Same thing with the other ear. There we go. Give it a little, you go off to the edge a little bit more if you want to. Give it a little pinch at the bottom. I'm just going to trim that little section off there, and again just give that a little pinch there. I'm going to move that round. So this is where I normally just kind of glue and then leave it to dry in position so it doesn't drop off or anything like that. How are you getting on, Jan? Will you be okay for me to head your way in a minute?
Yes.
With the chick?
I'll just move him over.
Yeah, no, that'll be fine. I'm just going to leave my ears of my rabbit to dry. I suppose really I've put it in the wrong position for Peter to have a look.
His wool's getting bigger.
His wool is getting bigger.
Yeah.
That's fine. What I've also done is I've just used some little blossoms. I've just got some blossoms using the plunger blossom as well. So I've got those dried. They're actually just going to sit on our little rabbit, just across the ears. So they're looking very cute and gorgeous. There we are. And a little bit of blusher on there as well. And then I shall put the head on once everything's dry. So you kind of won't see the head on at the moment, I'm afraid. Oh, there we go. Just a very little bit of blusher, very gently. So less is always more, remember. You can always go back and add. You can add this on once you put everything all together if you want to as well. There we go. Nice bit of blush going on there. Shall I turn round for you, Peter? Oh, let me turn around. There you go. I can pop my ear back up in a minute. There we go. Oh, there we are. So we've just got the ears angled however you want them to. And that's our little rabbit head. So I'll leave them to dry, and then that will go onto our body. Now the body's got a little bit of fur on there if you need it. Now the arms are done in exactly the same way. And if you want to, you can just add in some little paws in pink with the pen, or just with a little bit of paste as well. So I'll just run through, in case you've just joined us and you haven't seen what we've been up to, at least you'll get to see the arms being done. So roll them out together at the same time, just divide the ball in half. There we go. Might be a bit long, but we can trim them down if we need to. So just have a look how they're going to be looking. They're going to probably be okay. I'll trim them down a little bit just to match sizing. There we go. elongate a little bit. And again, just with the tooling that I've just used, I'll swap something else instead. Just give it a little push in and around just for that little paw, and then that can just shape upwards. And do the same thing. So you can use your leaf veining tool or your blade tool, whichever one you want to there. Just grab the paintbrush in again and bring the arms in so they're kind of positioned there ready. How are you getting on, Jan?
3/4.
Oh, that's pretty good going, isn't it? I'm going to move over to you again in a
Yeah.
minute. I think, is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
If
I'll
that's
just swap.
okay. And that's getting ready to hold a very large Easter egg that the rabbit is going to be holding. That's what they're for. There we go. That's for an egg. Oh, I'll add that in. So I'm going to hop your way then, Jan, if that's all right. Again,
Yeah.
with the hopping. Getting into the Easter spirit here, aren't we, Jan? What I haven't told Janet yet, of course, is that we're going to do an Easter dance at the end. So she's not ready for that. And as I speak, she's really terrified that I'm actually being serious, and that is what is going to happen.
I know you're probably being serious.
Oh, poor Janet. Never mind. Okay, so we're just going to look at one of our little chicks. Will he lift off? There he goes. There we are. So again, we've got some ideas as to sizing, depending, or ratio of sizing, I should say, because that can vary as to what size. We've got a very big chick here, and then we've got a much smaller chick around about as well. So here we go. Let's just very quickly pop everything together. So wherever you are, if you're kind of still watching and you're still with us, thank you for doing that. That's been great. We've had some amazing shout outs from all over the world. And we really do appreciate the fact that you're always with us and you're supporting us, and that you're all fans, and that, I don't know, just like a big family, it feels like you're part of the family as well. Doesn't it, Jan?
It
Does, yeah. So just doing the body, so just roll that so you've got all the creases out, and then just do a little bit of a pear shape. Just flatten a bit for what will be the tail. Give it a little pinch as well. Smooth it if you need to. You can use your scissors just to cut a few snips in there. There we go. And then just pull that back to a little bit of a point. And then you can kind of position that ready for the head. Again, try to avoid using anything that shouldn't be in there as always. So I'm kind of not even worrying about sugar sticks, because if you can manage to do it without, it makes life easier. Pat's got a stop-go board up with shout out written on it for me, so here we go.
This is just a few very quick shout outs.
Quick shout outs while we're doing the
Okay,
chick. It's great.
so Susie Q from Los Angeles, and Jessa from the Philippines.
Ooh.
Janetta says hello, I'm not sure where she's from. And Amy from Missouri.
Oh.
And Mujantha from the Maldives.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. Hello, good to have you back again. It's been hectic here today. It's been very hectic. So I'm just doing the eyes now, if you're just kind of like having a little look. So just 2 little balls of paste there. Now I'm hoping they're even, but I don't know that they are really, if I'm absolutely honest. There we go. A little bit of glue going on there. I think there's a bit of black on there. There we go. Don't think they'll lift in, to be honest. I think they're a bit too big. Oh no, there we go. Just about. Oh, there we go. There we go. And just give it a little push. There we go. I've got glue absolutely everywhere. Rolling out a little bit of that in a minute. So I've got little leg area as well. So for the little legs, you're just going to create 2 little cones. So there's my ball of paste. Just divide that in half. You're still working on your sheep. He's coming together. He's looking nearly done.
He's nearly
He's a
done.
little bit larger than Sean's sheep. But he's, yeah, he's looking good now. He's got his coat on. That's brilliant. That's all good. He's got a little friend at the picnic. So there we go. These are the legs. So roll the balls into 2 little teardrops or cone shapes. Oh dear, that one's not very good actually. I'm going to do that one again. I don't like that one. That's not very good. So this is just a very, very quick way of doing the chick. A little bit of glue again. And we've got a lovely little family going on here. There we go. So again, just pushing them in there. There we are. And that's then nearly ready for the head. I just need to roll out for the wings. And again, I'm using the leaf plunger for that. Not using the actual embossing to it again either. And I'm also going to plunge out very quickly just to do some eyelids with, as far as that's concerned. So I'm just going to pinch back one of the plungers. Oh, there it is, yes. Thanks, Peter. So I'm just going to cut out one of those, give that a push. Do the wings, so 2 of those very quickly. There we go. Super speedy, super speedy. Oh, there we go. And a little tiny bit, just getting the component bits ready. Divide them up, and then you've just got the little tuft that's on the top. It's not on the big one, it's on the baby one. So just little tiny little bits of paste like that. 3 of those, just to create those little feathery tufts. 2, there you go. There's the other one gone as well. And the same thing again. There we go. So that just creates those ready. So they'll be going on in a second. For this one, we're just going to recut with the plunger again. They're just creating some little eyelids. I think I've probably gone with the wrong size plunger, to be honest, because we're rushing, trying to get it all done. But you'll see what's needed, and at the end of the day, you can use what you've got, and you can trim these down if you need to. So I can do that, even though we've got the wrong sizing. I think Jan's completed Shaun the Sheep.
Not quite.
Oh, nearly though, but he looked good when I saw him. There we go. And just oink that one on as well, so you can see what we've done with the little eyelashes. Now, you don't have to have those on there if you don't want them on there. And then we'll just add a bit of glue onto there, and hopefully he'll stay in position. It's chaos, this chick. It's fun, it's Easter, that's what it's all about. A little ball, just roll both ends of that to a point. This is going to be his beak, which is probably going to be a little bit too big. There we go. There we are. Give it a flatten at the same time. Bit more glue on the top. And if we just use this little tool there, so just position it on there. Give it a little push, and then just give it a push into the centre, and that will help it fold. Oh, it's got a huge beak on it. Look at the size of the beak on that. It's massive. Oh dear, there we go. So just add in a couple of lines again for the wings. This is going to make. Same thing the other side. Give them a little pinch, and then they're just ready to go in position. Oh, glue, there we go. Oh dear. He's a very unfortunate chick here. He doesn't look like he's got too much going for him, actually, to be honest. We'll stick with saying it's character, shall we? There we go. Oh dear me, there he is. And for the feet, very quickly, very quickly. The only thing I'm wondering about is if we've got any Easter eggs to eat afterwards. Because it is Easter after all. There we go. So we're just making 2 little balls there into triangles, flatten those down a little bit, and then just cut into those with your scissors. So if you don't want to use scissors and there's little people involved, you can just use your wheel tool if that's what you want to do. Just give them a little flatten. I think we've got too much paste there, Paula, to be honest, but there we go. Give them a little cut out. Get rid of those bits there. Ooh, wondered what Peter was doing then. There we go. And again, you can just take a bit more out if that's what you want to do. There we go. And the same thing the other side as well. go, just a little snip into there. Oh, my thumb's got caught now. There we go. So again, out with that. There we go. And a little bit of glue. Ball tool, that will just help it have a little bit of shape as you position it on there. Like I said, I've probably used too much paste on these ones now, I think. There we go, and then they're in position. So hopefully you've got a little bit of food for thought as far as ideas is concerned on the chicks and the rabbits and Sean the sheep, carrots, etc. Oh dear me, I think I shouldn't have been rushing my chick. He doesn't look too good, does he? I think he's had too many Easter eggs, if I'm absolutely honest. Oh my goodness, there he is. Never mind. I'm calling it character.
Well,
calling it character.
His mother love him.
Oh, bless. Okay, so thank you ever so much for joining us, everybody. It's been great having you with us. Hope you have some great ideas. Have a wonderful Easter. Eat lots of eggs and have fun. Until next time, bye from all of us here. Bye.